Welcome back to Cash Flow Conversations. Today is day 24 out of 30 days going live on my capital raising journey. I'm joined with Joel from EQRP, and I felt it was super timely to have him on because there's a lot of misconceptions around being able to invest in real estate if you don't have, dry powder, quote unquote, right? If you don't have cash that's in your savings or in your checking account, that you won't be able to invest in real estate, which is just not the case. You can access funds from a variety of ways, but I won't be talking about that. That is Joel's expertise. So I'm going to pass it over to him. All right, Joel, why don't you give a quick intro about you and what you do?
For sure. Yeah. Thank you, Brandon, for giving me the chance to share a little bit about what you're talking about today. And we'll dive deep into it and make sure that everybody that's attending has a really good understanding of what we're talking about and hopefully give them the energy and the motivation to get connected with me and talk even deeper about their situation. But a little bit about myself. Like Brandon mentioned, my name is Joel Land and I work for EQRP. EQRP stands for Enhanced Qualified Retirement Plan. And that's our business. That's what we provide to people. We provide them with a qualified retirement plan that they use to self-direct and invest in alternative assets, much like the investments and assets that Brandon raises capital for. So I think that this is just really a fitting message that we're going to be able to share with everybody that's watching right now. I've been working with EQRP now for 3 years. I've known the founder of the company for about five. I used to be in banking and he was one of our clients. And I've just thoroughly enjoyed his mission, what he's done with EQRP. His name is Damian Lupo. He's been a real estate professional all his life, and he's put this company together to provide solutions for people who are looking for better ways to invest their retirement funds. And I'll get more into that, of course.
For sure, Joel. Yeah, appreciate that overview. I do have a few questions, but I'll save those.
Okay.
I know that you had a few slides that you wanted to share as well, so you can pull
Yeah,
those up.
for
Definitely.
sure. Yeah. And if you don't mind, Brandon, I think before I get those up, I'm going to share a couple of thoughts that I always like to preface with. And that is, the majority of individuals right now have spent their time investing or putting retirement funds into a traditional or institutional company sponsored plan like a 401k,
Hmm.
and or it could be a 403b or 457, any of those company sponsored plans. So many people have been dependent upon those plans to help prepare them for retirement. And what they don't know is that there is opportunity outside of the institutional system. Most of the time, folks who were using 401ks or 403bs or 457 plans, they put money away, and as they get closer to retirement, they recognize that they do not have the money that they thought they were going to need to maintain or even enhance their lifestyle into retirement. So we do interact with a lot of our members who hit their 40s or their 50s and they recognize, oh my gosh, what have I been doing? I've been following this method, this institutional process that was designed to help me get ahead and prepare for retirement. But unfortunately, it never turns out that way for most people. And so they get connected with us and we show them how they can make a change. But these slides that I'm about to show you really illustrate what we're all about, the value that we add to the individual. And hopefully, everybody that is watching right now will walk away with a little bit of a better idea of what is EQRP, what do we offer, and how we can help everyone. The first thing that I always like to touch on are our four pillars. This is essentially what separates us from our competition. This is what defines us as an organization. We provide at the core a self-directed 401k for our members so that, again, they can walk away from the institutional system that is unfortunately not designed in favor for the individual. And
Mm.
we allow the member to take control over their 401k, get access to some of that dry powder, and pump it into a real estate syndication or a real estate fund.
Mm.
What you are essentially doing, Brandon.
Of course.
And so I want everybody to walk away recognizing that at the core, we offer a self-directed 401k. We design it so that everyone can take control of the money that they've already put away in retirement plans to invest in alternative assets like real estate. Secondly,
Amazing.
we have dedicated account managers. And Brandon, this is critical for anybody that takes control over their retirement. They need an account manager who has the knowledge, the wherewithal to really support them one on one during that journey while they're managing their retirement. And then, of course, it doesn't go without saying that we are big into education. We want to make sure that our members who are taking control over their retirement are successful investors, that they have the resources available to them so that they can walk away feeling like, okay, I left the traditional system and I jumped into taking control for myself. And they can have the peace of mind knowing that they are on a path again towards retirement. So I just want to finish with our last pillar, if you will. It's our community. We've really developed a strong community. And Brandon, I know I showed that to you, and you can speak to, at least at the
Yeah.
surface, how powerful our community is and how it does offer our members the opportunity to learn, network, and invest with one another. So, everybody that's watching today, that's probably one thing I'd love to show to everyone in a one on one conversation, just so they can walk away recognizing just how robust our community is and how it differentiates itself from the competition. So, Brandon, I feel like a couple things I want to share real quick are our first steps. A lot of folks that at least have a baseline understanding of what we do, they like to ask, okay, well, what does day one look like? If this is something that I want to do, if I want to take control of my retirement funds that are just sitting there in the capital markets and move them into something that Brandon is offering me, how do I do that? Well, day one is straightforward. And we know that timing is of the essence because a lot of real estate syndications or even real estate funds have some deadlines.
Hmm.
So what we do is we go in and we establish the qualified plan itself. We initiate the rollover from the old institutional 401k. We let those funds settle in the account, and then we immediately send those funds out to the investment sponsor or the fund manager. And then we obviously help the client record the transaction. So this is probably one of our bread and butter, like one part of our process that is our bread and butter. We make this process super fast, streamlined. We understand that most members who are investing, they've got their W-2 job, they've got their family that they got to dedicate their time to. So we step in and we do all the heavy lifting. We do 95% of the work so that you're left with just that bare minimum, signing some documents, reviewing things, and again, just making it as fast as possible. I'd like to touch on three benefits. Might take a minute or two on each of
Yeah.
these, but a lot of folks will say things like, gosh, this sounds like a self-directed IRA, sounds like something that Quest IRA offers me, or Equity Trust offers me. It's actually really different in a lot of senses. The plans that we offer are self-directed 401ks.
Mm.
And we have the wherewithal to establish these plans a little differently than what the competition might be offering. And one of the big values of having an EQRP plan versus a self-directed IRA is the UDFI exemption. Obviously, Brandon, you're aware of this. Most successful investors are investing in real estate, particularly commercial real estate.
Hmm.
And in almost all cases, it involves institutional financing, right? There's going to be
Yes.
some form of the project that's going to be debt financed. And so, unfortunately, the way that the IRA tax code is designed, again, we don't offer the IRA, we offer a different type of plan, but the way that an IRA is designed, unfortunately, it is going to be subject to a tax on the gains. Okay.
Hmm.
However, an investor can feel confident walking into a debt financed piece of real estate as an investor with an EQRP plan because it is actually exempt from UDFI, which means the gains are not going to be subject to the UBIT tax. And that's because, again, our EQRP plans actually follow a different tax code. So this might be new to some of you. This might be unfamiliar. This might be actually something that few of you have heard before. I'd love to have a detailed conversation with you and your situation, one off, because this could really make or break your gains. And don't fret, if you are invested in debt finance real estate with a self-directed IRA, there are solutions. We've had multiple people become EQRP members who were self-directed IRA holders by simply moving the asset in kind from the IRA into a new EQRP plan that we designed for them. And that in-kind rollover moves that asset, it re-registers it from the old and into the new. Now, when that property sells, the gains are not going to be subject to a UBIT tax. So we do that a lot for people, and that's kind of like a relief to those that we've done this for, because
Mhm.
it saved them significantly on taxes. That rate can be really high. But again, like I said, we can go on and on about this topic. And again, I could probably have a detailed conversation with each
For
person
sure.
that it might affect, but I'd love to have that maybe one off just for the sake of time.
Yeah.
So just two other highlights that I want to point on. One of them is the flexible borrowing option. It's pretty cool that, there are some IRS, rules out there that have been designed to support the participant of a 401k. And fortunately, a member who has an EQRP plan can take advantage of that same benefit. So what I mean by that is they can borrow from their EQRP plan rather than having to go the institutional route. They don't have to walk over to Wells Fargo or Chase Bank and apply for a loan, have it go through underwriting, have it go through an approval process, and then even go through the funding process. That an individual who has an EQRP plan doesn't have to wait for that.
Right.
And so that unlocks a lot of free time, so to speak. If an EQRP member needed to finance maybe a renovation on their home and it's $40,000, if they've got the actual value in their plan, they can borrow that amount. And the day that they actually make the request to borrow those funds from their EQRP plan, they can receive those funds the same day. So we make that process really streamlined, really simple. We don't want to overcomplicate it. And the best part, you're kind of like your own bank. I know that phrase has been tossed around in a lot of other circumstances, but you really are. You're borrowing from your own retirement dollars, and you're paying your own retirement plan back. So the principal and interest go back to you. Super cool benefit that a lot of our members have taken advantage of. This is the last benefit that I'd like to touch on. Anybody that's listening who is a small business owner, or maybe you do some gig work, maybe you're W-2 and you've got some side hustle and you make 1099 income. This is an awesome plan for you to actually make contributions to grow your retirement funds through an EQRP plan. You can defer taxes using this contribution benefit as a small business individual. So anybody that is listening that is a small business owner, you make some type of small business income, really consider this as an option for you. Again, for the opportunity to defer some taxes on your income, or just for the fact that you can grow your EQRP balance. I'd like to just start summarizing things here, Brandon, because I
Yeah.
know we've got some questions and whatnot, but I can't overemphasize how much these EQRP plans really help individuals invest in alternative assets. Obviously, commercial real estate is probably the bread and butter. It is like the one asset that our members love to invest in because it's just so proven. But there are so many non-traditional assets out there that our members are investing in. They're doing private money lending, they're investing in technology, venture capital, commodities, raw land, a ton of flexibility. And our community actually offers a ton of resources to access those asset classes. I figured I'd throw this up there for anybody that might want to take a minute and just read a couple of sentences here from one of our clients. And I love this. I actually just pulled this from Google reviews. It gives
Nice.
anybody a chance to just look at what one of our clients are actually saying. This is John Stevenson. I actually really love this guy. He's awesome. He uses the EQRP plan to invest in crypto. Super
Interesting.
young. Yeah, he's a small business owner, but a go-getter, and he's super smart. But you can kind of see how the account managers, just based on his response here, his review, how the account managers have just taken the time to really walk him through the process and support him. Like I said, he's super smart. I mean, he could have figured it all out on his own, but we helped accelerate his process through that learning curve, if you will, just by giving him that one-on-one support.
Definitely.
And again, I'll just finish with this last review here. This is from Mark Perry. He's been with us actually for a long time, and he knows Damian Lupo when Damian Lupo was actually in the weeds, the owner of our company. Brought Mark Perry in, and you can see Mark is just absolutely a raving fan. And this is also a Google review, of course, but I think this is what I want those who are watching to expect from us. I actually like to say that pretty often, that our members, they have high expectations. They expect a lot from us, and we deliver. We have the expectation internally to deliver on what our members truly need. Again, to access that dry powder, like you said, and pump it into opportunities that you have. So many people, they use their non-retirement funds. They use the money that's in their personal account. Maybe they go take out a home equity line of credit. I was just talking to somebody recently who has always invested in syndications by accessing his home equity line of credit, which is a great method, but sometimes they don't have the availability to do so. And this individual that I was talking to didn't realize that he could take $150,000 that he had in the SEP that he quite literally kind of forgot about. And now he has access to those funds that he's going to position into a syndication with a company that he's been investing with for the longest time. But now he's using retirement funds to do so. So it was just a matter of he had no idea that it was an option. And I'm sure there's people that are listening today that probably didn't know that this was an option either. And those are the people I'd love to talk to.
Yeah, absolutely, Joel. I think it's an incredible service too. And many of us, myself included, before really hearing about ways to tap into retirement funds, I think kind of view those funds as locked up and not really accessible. So it's pretty awesome that that people have the ability to access those funds earlier on than, whatever the age is now, like, 59 and a half or whatever it is. But
Exactly.
yeah, it's pretty amazing. Just had a couple questions. So outside of, a Roth or a 401k, are there other types of retirement funds out there that you're able to help clients with?
Yeah. And I think what I'll do is actually list maybe the top 5.
Sure.
So the first would be like a pre-tax or a traditional IRA. A lot of people take retirement funds that they've accumulated with one company, and after they left that company, they actually just like by default plugged it into a traditional or a pre-tax IRA, and it's just like sitting at Fidelity, yielding nominal returns. Those are perfect. We roll those over all the time. We also roll over funds within a current company sponsored retirement plan. Let's say, Brandon, you work for one company and then you move to another and you brought with you your old 401k. You could do that. And now it's sitting and it's actually growing along with all of the other contributions you're currently making. You can actually pull that one portion of your 401k that you brought over from your previous employer. Those are
Nice.
also eligible funds. A couple of other ones. You got your 403b plans, your 457. How about those individuals that have been working for the government or even military? Those are thrift savings plans. Those are those TSP plans. And a lot of folks who leave the government who are contributing to TSP plans, or maybe you were enlisted as a veteran or somebody in the armed forces, and then obviously you did, you dedicated your time, and now you've moved on to other things. There is a TSP plan there just waiting for you to roll over. So those are probably the top plans that we're constantly moving into these members EQRPs.
Nice. Yeah, it's pretty substantial. Um, and also, say, I have an investor who wants to move forward. they have retirement funds. I put them in touch with you. Typically, what is that time frame from once they have that conversation with you, Joel, to, everything being finalized?
We like to say 7 to 10 days. And the reason we say that is because, I had that slide with the stopwatch. There's a
Hmm.
lot of pre-work that's done. That actually happens instantaneously. We have everything down so well that we get all that done pretty quick, all the way to up to that point where we initiate the rollover with the releasing custodian.
Hmm.
And it isn't until that point that the clock starts kind of slowing down a little bit. So we do a bunch, on our front end, we get the ball rolling, but now we're actually waiting for the releasing custodian to do their part. Fortunately, we've got kind of a poker to just like poke that process along and nudge it along, cattle prod, if you will, just kind of get that thing moving so that it goes from, we'll just say Vanguard or
Hmm.
even like Wells Fargo advisors, and we just move that thing along as fast as we can. We are at the will of the releasing party a lot of the times, but we've
Got it.
got the energy and the protocol to just push that along until it finally settles in their EQRP account. So we're adamant to get that done as fast as possible. And I would like to say on average, it's about 7 to 10 days. Sometimes it's sooner. It just depends on that releasing custodian.
Understood. Got it. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, those are pretty much all of the questions that I had. Did you have any final thoughts or anything else that you wanted to share?
Yeah. First, of course, thank you again for letting me, come into your community.
Of
And
course.
I hope that people who have been watching have found some insights into this. And I just want everybody to know that really I've only scratched the surface. What we have designed and what we have built, it goes much further than just giving people control, like that immediate control of their retirement funds to invest. We have truly helped people take off the peripherals and recognize the potential in our industry, if you will. There's so much untapped potential, and there's quite frankly so much retirement funds in the traditional or institutional retirement system that are underperforming. Let's move that into something that is performing, just like what you offer, Brandon. And so, if if it's even just a conversation that someone is curious about having, truly, I would encourage anyone. Brandon, I know you're going to provide a link which is unique to
Yeah.
you. Um, just click on that link, click on it, and it'll direct you to get connected to us. And that'll just, give us an opportunity to have a conversation. And it'll be very situational. We'll learn about what you're trying to accomplish as an individual, what potential you might have, and we'll just walk down that journey together until you feel like A, this is what you want to do and we move forward, or B, maybe it is something that you don't want to do, or maybe you're not eligible for, but at least we've taken the time to learn and hopefully, exhaust all resources to see if it is a good fit. But with that being said, I just appreciate everybody, taking the time to tune in. And I would really love to have a conversation with anyone.
For sure, Joel. Really, really appreciate all of the info and all of your insight. I think you did an amazing job. And yeah, like Joel just mentioned, I'll include a link down in the comment section. So if you do have any questions and want to learn more about EQRP and really tapping into those retirement funds that many of us have, yeah, you can access that and you can learn more from Joel. So awesome. Appreciate you jumping on today, Joel. It's good having you.
You bet. Thank you.
Thanks, Joel.